Welcome back to the MVP podcast. I'm here with my main hitter, my main man, my brother, the champion himself, Danny Khan.
Listen, you know how to make someone blush, you know. You know how to make someone blush, you.
Danny, I'm telling you, bro, it's been a hot minute and a half.
It's not been a hot minute, brother. It's been a hot hour or maybe a hot century. It feels like forever since I've been on.
Bro, how long has it been since me and you have even talked on a podcast?
Mate, well, there was 3 weeks before COVID. Well, when COVID first stopped, before the lockdown, sorry, there was 3 weeks there.
Yeah.
Where we didn't record anything, me and you. Then there was the whole 10 weeks of lockdown. I think it's a 10-week now. So you're looking at about, honestly, about
3-4 months.
Weeks, not about 3 months we've not made a pod together.
Damn, Daniel.
That's crazy.
But trust me, man. Listen, it's been hot. It's been hard. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with another episode of Fight Club. Fight Club's just been absolutely popping off with all the guests. You know, we've had Lucas Brown, Billy Dave, Jay Leon,
John O'Carroll.
You know, John O'Carroll at the start. We've had lives with Morton, Timothy Mayhem Morton. So we've just been doing bits and bobs, man. You know, we've had other guests on. So it's been busy, innit? I know me and you haven't had a chance to talk, but it's still been hella busy, innit?
It's been good because obviously with the COVID situation and the COVID scenario, there's been a lot of droughts in terms of fights getting made, news about fights. You know, we were supposed to have some fantastic fights. We were supposed to have Usyk versus Chisora, which, you know, we missed out on. We're supposed to have Pulev versus Anthony Joshua. We were supposed to have Dillian White fight. And then we were supposed to also have the Fury, Deontay Wilder 3, the trilogy. So at the beginning of the year, when it came about January time, you know, we're really looking forward to March, June, July, them kind of months. Obviously, COVID came and it kind of wiped out the whole boxing schedule for ourselves now. We are lucky, in fact, that boxing is on tonight. By the time you see this post, hopefully it'll be finished. Shakur Stevens is fighting tonight, and then there's another fight, Top Rank, on Thursday, I believe.
Yeah.
Thursday, maybe not 11th. On the 11th.
I think it's Wednesday or Thursday, I think it is 11th,
yeah. So, obviously, we're just getting to the tail end of things. I know UFC's come back as well. But yeah, man, it's as well as being busy, it's not like we've just stayed and we've decided, you know, Fight Club's just going to chill. No, we've been actively searching for people to put on Fight Club. And obviously, we appreciate all the guests that have come on Fight Club. And obviously, Nayim, thank you for your hard work as well. Well, I took a bit of a leave and an absence. So thank you for your hard work, brother.
Nah, it's cool, man. We've got to do it. We're a team. We're a team of 6. And, you know, when one man's doing something else or busy with something else, you know, the rest of them pick up. And, you know, you guys have done that for me when I've been on holiday or family or whatever. So we've got to do what we've got to do, man. You know what I mean? We want to be successful in it. But before we start, then, I want to ask you something, innit? Because I just picked up a penguin at the cupboard. So I got one of them penguin jokes for you.
Love it. I used to know all of them, you know.
Let me see if you know this one, yeah? Why are penguins hard to get along with? It's so daft.
Why are penguins hard to get along with?
Yeah.
Because they're flip-floppity?
Nah, man. They're always fishing for compliments. It's a bit like you, bro.
Oh, yeah. You got me there. Right through the heart there, innit?
Trust me, man.
You know, it's been a long time when we start cussing each other, innit?
This is reminiscent of the times in the studio. But I want to touch on something that you just raised about COVID and, you know, ruining plans and things like that. The UFC has kind of come back in full swing. You know, they put on a couple of events. We've had some, you know, blockbuster fights, some sick knockouts. But one guy who's decided that, you know, 2020's messed up his 2020. Well, COVID's messed up his 2020 is Conor McGregor. And he's decided to kind of abruptly just retire, you know, putting out a statement saying, you know, along the lines of, you know, it's messed up my plans. The desire's not there. I've had a look, you know, the fans aren't there. I'm not feeling it. You know, John Jones did it before him. Henry Cejudo, he beat Dominic Cruz. He decided to retire too. Masvidal's flirting with retirement / releasing me from a contract. So you've got 4 of the UFC's biggest names, you know, minus Khabib and DC and, you know, 1 or 2 others. But you've got 4 of the top names in the UFC and champions. why do you think that these guys, and particularly the four that I mentioned, have decided to retire or step away? And be honest, because I don't know if they're being fully honest. So you be honest.
Obviously, I've looked into a few things, obviously, before I've come on, just to kind of just refresh my mind with it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to start in chronological order.
Okay, go for it.
So we put McGregor last, because I think, although they are kind of linked, at the same time, they do stem off of one another, and they are branches.
Okay.
So more so, it might be for the same reason, but there's branches of that reason, if that makes sense.
Right.
So we'll start with, obviously, big old Henry, top lad and that. You know what I mean?
Big old Henry. He's the
Big old Henry. I know. It was irony. So obviously, with him, you know, he wins the belt.
Yeah.
You know, why would you then leave if you're a champion?
Mm-hmm.
That suggests to me that he finds there's something along the lines of there within the corporation of the UFC that he doesn't agree with. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes precedent over his belt. Because, you know, any fighter, Nayim, what do they dream about? They dream about winning a title, a championship. You know what I mean? Now, with his situation, look, it's about money. Yeah. I like Masvidal's situation, and we will touch on that because it goes a lot more deeper into the sort of the contractual obligations of the UFC and how it differs from boxing, where that's seen as kind of fair to the fighter. Whereas UFC, it's like a Scottie Pippen contract. I know a lot of you watch The Last Dance, so you'll get that reference.
Yeah.
So Henry, he retires for money. He feels that, you know, as the champion, he's not being looked after in that certain atmosphere and stuff like that. But I do believe Henry's a smart guy. Like, he's not a guy that's made a lot of money, so he wouldn't have blown a lot of money as well. So maybe he's just got enough for himself to retire. So periodly for him it's money. Yeah.
Okay. Just on that. Why we record this yesterday? So this was Monday. We're recording this on a Tuesday. He put out a tweet saying that Alexander Volkanovski, who is a champion in the lightweight division, Max Holloway, that's a fight that would interest him. And we put it up on our Instagram story as well, because it's something that I came across. So that would make him not triple C, that would make him quadruple C. You know,
Wow.
He titles in 3 UFC divisions, which has never been done before.
He'd be the first to do that as well, yeah.
First ever, and an Olympic gold medal. So I know when obviously we were sort of talking about this on the weekend, and we said, you know, let's talk about this topic because it's another guy that's retiring with Conor McGregor. It got me thinking with Henry. I think it's about money, man. I think it's about pay. I was speaking to a couple of people on our Instagram DMs as well who like the UFC, who were fans, and with him, there's nothing left to prove. So it's just all about money now. And
well, maybe one thing, just to cut you off, maybe it's about COVID as well.
With him?
Because if you look at what COVID's done to the UFC, yeah,
okay,
a lot of UFC's revenue comes from the sort of live gate, the people who are paying tickets. So you've got the likes of, obviously, when DC fights, a ringside ticket is £1,200.
Yeah.
When McGregor fights, if you want front row at McGregor fight, you're gonna pay £25,000.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
Now, if Henry feels like Henry is a champion and he feels like I'm worth 10,000 at ringside, but where's that 10,000 gonna come from?
Yeah, that's true.
You're looking at, obviously, if there's no live people, there's no revenue for merchandising, which the fighters don't get anyway, because Reebok took them out when they bought. Obviously, when Reebok went into the UFC and they struck that deal with the head of the UFC, that completely took the sponsors of the fighters out, so they're making a loss there. And you're looking at as well, you know, fighters don't get paid off any snacks or anything like that anyway. So, you know, already if you've got maybe 20,000 people in a arena, like MGM is 20,000, say, 20,000 people, and now there's 20,000 empty seats, you're missing a massive chunk of money.
Yeah.
So then how can the UFC afford to pay you that money?
So do you think,
maybe they can, maybe because they're still making pay-per-view and they're still making a lot of revenue off the ESPN deal and the Reebok deal. That's why fights are still going on. Fights are still going on because ESPN has got a contract with UFC saying that you need to show this amount of fights, and they're putting a lot of money into the UFC.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's a greed thing. Maybe the UFC turn around and think, you know what, we haven't got the live people, so what we'll do budget cuts as well, and we'll not pay our fighters, the amount of money that they should be paid. Now, I do feel sorry for the fighters, don't get me wrong, because the fighters have given 10, 15, 16, 17 years of their life, getting punched in the face, getting kicked in the face, body parts hurting, putting their life in danger. If they're not getting enough money to make it by, that's a shambles.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, Nayim, me and you are smart guys. There's a very famous saying, the reason you don't go gambling is because the house always wins. The corporation always wins.
No, you're spot on, man. And like you're saying all of that, it made me think about John Jones as well. Because and a couple of other people like Sean O'Malley and all these kind of guys. He made 80K on the weekend. Sean O'Malley, he did one of the sick knockouts, yeah. And he made 40K for turning up and 40K for winning. Now, after you got all your expenses, all your training fees, your food, all your campaigns, everything, you're not left with that much money. So
let me put it to you in a tweet that a UFC fighter actually put out by the name of Mark. I can't remember his second name. Do forgive me.
Mm-hmm.
He basically said some fighters are leaving after the taxes and after everything included with $6,000 in their pocket.
Wow.
$6,000.
Oh. Wow.
Just let that sink in for a moment.
And that's like
Sean O'Malley's made 80K, yeah?
Salary. That's like a 2, 3, 4 month salary as well. Because they don't fight every week.
Yeah.
Every month sometimes. Like it's 2, 3 months. So they've got to get by on that. Wow.
See, the John Jones situation, which you mentioned, that's slightly a bit different. Because with John Jones, he was actually happy with the money that he received at UFC 205. And his sort of feud is not with Dana about what he has been paid.
Yeah.
Because there's an injustice there as well. He said that when he's been in wars, mate. He's one of the best in the UFC, if not the best, yeah?
Yeah.
He's been in a lot of wars. When he fought Machida, and I remember this, Dana made him take that fight through buying him a Bentley. Do you know that?
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
So he bought him a car. So a young man who's been given a car, what's a young man going to think? A young man's not going to immediately think of a pay, is he? He's going to think, wow, I've got this car, this 80, 90, 120 grand car. And this is all what I've looked into. Like, obviously, I've sat and researched it as I normally do. And it's quite interesting. Now, he's obviously sour because he's trying to secure this big fight with Ngannou, yeah? And they're wanting that fight to happen pretty soon. But now it goes back to that issue of there's no live crowd. There's no merchandise sales. So the UFC aren't willing to put in that much money towards him. As well as that, he's aging. Let's be honest. You can see that slightly he may be on his way out.
I don't think so.
A lot of people have said it.
I don't think so. I think when you move up, you gain a few years. But the only thing with him is that he's going up to face a monster. And I'm on his side because you're going and facing up one of the scariest men to ever walk the planet in Francis Ngannou, a guy who's got unreal knockout power. Like, I was one of the crazy people that thought Jairzinho Rosenstruik was going to win or do some damage.
Yeah.
And in 10 seconds, he got flatlined. He got bulldozed. He got knocked out. And I love that guy, and I love Ngannou too, but I thought, you know what, this guy could cause him problems. He looked like he was setting up for the kicks. He got bulldozed. John Jones is facing a machine, yeah? So I think it's justified in him wanting more money. Why should you fight for $3 million in a super fight? Why? You wouldn't see Mayweather fight Marquez or Maidana and then say, if I fight McGregor or Pacquiao, I'm going to make the same money as Maidana or Marquez. You wouldn't see that. The super fights deserve the sort of the respect that, from a box office perspective.
You're not wrong in what you're saying. Yeah, you're 100% accurate in what you're saying. But again, it's basically the way UFC works is that, look, Dana White says they're free agents, yeah? They're contractor workers, they can do what they want. We know that's not true.
Obviously.
Once you've signed a contract, you've signed a contract.
Yeah, unless you retire, you can't get out of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They'll give him, maybe they do give him a pay rise or a pay increase to fight Ngannou.
Yeah.
But do you not think they're going to add more fights onto that contract?
Well, he's already got a 7-fight contract with the UFC because he signed one very recently.
Regardless, that's how major sports win. That's how major sports keep you.
I think John Jones has 7 fights left in him anyway, so I think that's worthless. He's like 31 or 32 now, yeah? He's retiring or is deferred to sort of fight until 2021, which I think is smart because by then, you would think that fans are going to come back in the arena. You'd think that are going to go up, the interest is going to go up. The fight with Ngannou will be more hyped. So I think he's kind of played it smart in that sense by holding out because I feel like in this time, if he's got enough money to survive and live his life and do whatever he wants to do.
Which he probably has.
He probably has. I feel like the UFC needs him more than he needs the UFC right now stage. I don't usually say that too often. It's like McGregor. I think the UFC needs McGregor more than McGregor needs the UFC right now. Because McGregor's whiskey business is killing it.
Yeah.
He's a made man. He never has to work another day in his life.
We'll get onto McGregor most definitely. But again, I don't think Dana looks at the fighters and thinks, I need you. Because at the end of the day, he can still put on fights, bro. And like, he's still got a massive contract with ESPN. Okay, when that contract is about to end, maybe he'll start thinking, right, where are my pay-per-view stars? Where are my, my McGregors, my John Bon Joneses, and, my guys who are brand names and household names. But so long as he's got that contract, that money's coming in, he can lowball anybody. He can tell John Bones that, I want to give you 20,000 for you to fight Ngannou. And, John Bones said, I know, but I'm giving an example in a rough estimated figure. So he says he wants to give him, say 20,000. Okay, not 20,000, but
it's not 3 million. It's not 3 million.
Let's call it 3 million, yeah?
Yeah.
For argument's sake, let's call it 3 million. But edit that part
out. Don't edit that part out.
If you're gonna leave in, it's a good laugh. Anyway, let's say he gives him 3 million, yeah?
Yeah.
But say, my man John, he wants 5 million. Yeah. Dana can just go to the second ranked heavyweight and say to him, mate, do you want to fight Ngannou? I'll give you 3 million.
But the money's
that
guy's gonna take it, but
then where does that leave John Jones? Then he's out of a massive big super fight. He's not getting paid.
No, but
that's what I mean. Like,
the fight just becomes bigger. If Ngannou then beats that whoever this guy is that you're mentioning, whether it's Chich, whether it's Cormier, and he beats him as well, the Jones fight becomes even bigger, and John Jones is even smarter for kind of holding out longer because that fight then becomes worth even more. Because
I do think he's smart for holding out, and I think the reason he's holding out is again because he wants that. I think once the crowds come back, like you said, the pay-per-view will increase, etc., etc. So money will be more flowing, and they'll have more funds to sort of give to him.
Yeah.
So I agree with your point there, but I don't know. Do they want? Are they saying that fight's definitely going to be in 2021, or is Dana trying to make it for 2020?
I don't know. I don't know because now that Jones has kind of like said 2021, you'd think it's going to be 2021.
But then does he have the power to make that decision that I want to fight in 2021? Can Dana not say to him, mate?
No, he can. He can take a break. He's not obligated to. He's probably obligated to fulfill his contract, but he can take a year out and say, "Look, I need a break." You're not obligated to fight. It's kind of cool in that sense, which is good. You can just make any excuse.
You're not, but then your fights are still standing. If you've got 6 fights left, you've got 6 fights left.
But I think he's going to retire anyway. There's not much for him to prove. He's got 2-3 fights in him, like where he's actually interested, and then after that he's done. I think it just depends on what he wants. But just one last topic before we kind of shoot off. McGregor, Conor McGregor, the notorious. Just want to touch on him a little bit because his situation is a bit similar, but it's a bit different as well. Because he said the love's not there, as I said at the beginning, and try to look at the division and nothing excites me, nothing motivates me. And he mentioned the crowd as well in his tweet or his post. He mentioned the crowd not being there and COVID effing up his plans, messing up his whole route that he had. Because maybe 2020 was his last year as well.
Yeah.
Now, what do you make of him retiring? Number one, is it fake? Is it just an interest for more money? Or do you think he's being genuine and he's going to wait for crowds to come back, money to kind of generate higher again, and then kind of throw his name back in the hat and say, look, GFG, Khabib, Masvidal, Usman, whoever, I'll fight you?
So on the grapevine, people are looking at it like two ways.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start with the first way. Now, obviously, me and you, Nayim, we've been boxing fans for years. When he puts out that tweet that I've lost the game, I've lost the love of the game, and, you know, I'm not really interested anymore and nothing motivates me, well, who does that remind you of?
Money Mayweather.
One of him, possibly. I was looking for more Prince Nassim.
Okay. You're looking back 20, 30 years ago. Okay.
Yeah. When Prince Nassim once said that, before he took a couple of fights, and then the last fight with Barrera, he literally said, people even mentioned it in his autobiography and stuff like that, that he wouldn't come to training on time, he'd be, you know, slouching, he'd be lazy, you know, nothing. He lost the complete love for the sport, because when you're a young man, Nayim, you're making a lot of money, yeah, and it's coming off, that money's coming to you like water off a duck's back.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, yeah. He's got a fantastic whiskey business that's going amazingly, stupidly well for him.
Yeah.
He's also made money off the fight with Mayweather. He made a big money on that fight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's always in the press. Regardless, everybody knows McGregor. You can put his face on anything. You know what I mean? He's known to make money. Why? Because of the brand he's built for himself. And he's done very well with that.
Yes, yeah.
So now, when you've got all these, you know, other revenues coming to you, you know, whiskey, media here, and you know, potential exhibition fights, because there's been talk of a Pacquiao-McGregor fight.
Yeah.
Not something I personally want to see.
I don't want to see that, but I don't want to see that either.
I don't think any purist does. I don't think anyone who is interested in boxing and watches boxing on UFC regularly actually wants to see that. I think that's more for the people who, oh my God, you know, McGregor's going to fight this guy, he's going to knock him out, and McGregor's the GOAT, you know what I mean? Them type of guys. Them type of keyboard warriors that probably have his picture as their sort of AVI on Twitter, you know what I mean? But it's difficult, you know. Getting up for training is not easy when you're getting up in the morning, when you're going for 5-10 mile runs.
Yeah,
when you're getting licks to the face constantly, it hurts, it's painful. When you've had a fight, 5 rounds, 25-minute fights, you know, getting punched physically, getting grappled, wrestled, leg takedowns, you know, that's not easy. So I can see, you know, why he said he's retiring. But again, there's another route. I'm going to go on to another route. But before I do that, I am going to say this is the 3rd time he's retired.
Yeah, he has. Yeah.
He's now got more retirements than he has got title defenses.
You went there.
Am I lying?
Yeah. If McGregor comes on this show, you're not going to be allowed to interview him. He's gonna.
Listen, I'll tell him. I'll go war to war with him like you do with Floyd. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was good.
I'm not a McGregor hater.
No. I know.
I just know he's a death machine.
Yeah,
he's a tough machine, and you know, a lot of the stuff that he gets himself into, I've got a lot of respect for him, because he knows how to play the game, man.
Trust me, he's played the game very well. Just one last thing. Mayweather put out a tweet saying you're retiring, a second fight. What you think they're in cahoots together, and you know they're making a little plan to kind of make McGregor's name higher and Mayweather's name more relevant? What do you think? Or do you think it's just Mayweather just wants to put his name in there as well because no one's talking about Mayweather at the minute?
I don't think for any of them reasons. I think it's barely on the basis of money. Mayweather, they call him 50-0. Let's be honest, it's 49 and 0. That one against McGregor doesn't count.
Doesn't count,
yeah. And he likes to count that one, but he doesn't count the one where he took on that kid in Japan.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know, I don't think either of them two, I don't think they're in cahoots with each other.
Okay.
I just think they're very smart businessmen.
Oh, they are, yeah.
Who know that, again, if they do a number 2, the whole world's going to go crazy, as it did for the first one. You know what I mean? You had people who don't watch boxing and don't watch MMA who watch that fight. So, again, maybe they're just trying to make money off one another. Or maybe it's just Mayweather actually feels that type of way about him because 50 Cent doesn't like Mayweather, does it? You know what I mean?
No, a lot of people
Maybe
do.
Mayweather doesn't like McGregor. But before, obviously, I did mention as well that another viewer point of looking from the McGregor sort of incident is that maybe he feels like the UFC can't pay him
Maybe.
because he's got a special contract with the UFC. He's got a very good contract. He's one of the best. So
He's
I'm
the
pretty
best.
sure that possibly, yeah, he might get a fraction of the live gate.
He does. He
I
does.
can't. He
No,
does.
he does. I've discussed this before with somebody. I might have even
Oh,
been you. It might have been somebody else, but he has actually. He's got some special contracts, special clauses that not anybody else has got.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember who I was speaking to, but yeah, I was told this as well. So
So what if he's just played it super smart and played chess and said, you know what, I'm retiring now.
yeah,
It comes back in 2021. It comes
yeah,
back healthy. It comes back, past Corona. Hopefully, when we get there, arenas are full again and the ruckus crowd.
yeah.
And then, you know what? He's like, yeah, at least they can pay me now.
No, for sure. Just quick fire. I'm going to ask you a question on all four. Quick fire answer, and then we're going to get off. So Henry Cejudo, do we see him in 2021? Yes or no?
Only for the big fight for the four-time champ.
Yeah, for the belt. Okay. John Jones, do we see him in 2021? I think it's a yeah because he's kind of said himself.
Yeah,
I think he's back. Masvidal, do we see him back in 2021?
100%.
Okay. And McGregor, do we see him back in 2021?
That one's like
We need to get a
he
full.
can't walk away from the sport, and nobody would question him because of what he's achieved in the sport.
True.
But again, he is that guy that likes the attention. Hey, I'm the Mac Daddy. You know what I mean? He likes that. He likes all that jazz and he likes all that. So, I don't know about that one.
I think he comes back, and I think we'll see all four. I agree with you. I think definitely on the three, and I think McGregor will.
But you know what? Out of all of them, I will be honest with you. Yeah, the guy that's the most riding out is Masvidal, man.
Yeah,
The guy's literally mentioned obviously that UFC fighters are paid about 16% of the total revenue of the UFC, what they make on a fight night. And he's literally, I think he's trying to force his hand to try and get more money. Now, there are a few critics who are saying that the only reason he's doing that is because he doesn't want to fight Usman. And look, he's got this BMF belt, this title, this plastic toy belt that we've made out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So it is interesting. But where does he can't go anywhere other than the UFC if he wants more money.
Nobody really can. I mean, apart from McGregor, nobody really can. So it's gonna be exciting.
Bellator, I don't think Bellator would be able to afford McGregor.
No, nobody can. No, McGregor's the only guy who can. He'll do fine without because he's got money anyway, and he's got the.
And obviously, he can just jump. He can just make an exhibition again, can't he?
That's what I'm saying. So that's what I mean. Mayweather's probably not Mayweather. McGregor's the best setup. The other three, they just have to rely on the UFC a little bit, but they have to give and take a little bit as well. They're gonna have to take.
Listen, it is sad. You know what I mean? Like, I do genuinely feel for them. Like, I know we mentioned it with regards to the sponsors. They're not allowed to have sponsors because of Reebok. You know what I mean? And Brock Lesnar used to make quite a decent amount of money from the sponsors when he used to fight in the UFC.
Yeah.
So I do feel sorry for them. I genuinely do. And as well as that, it's like, what did Masvidal say? Masvidal is actually claiming he doesn't want more money. He wants more of the revenue share.
Yeah.
He claims that in sports like NBA, they get, I don't know if this is true. Again, I'm not massive on my American sports, but he claims that in the NBA, they get like 45% of what the NBA makes, and in NHL, they get like 35%.
Yeah,
this guy's turning around saying, I'm just saying I want 25%.
He's a maths wizard, so he knows his stuff, man. Dana did say it the other day. Money is one of them things, man. It makes the world go around, but it also it creates a lot of greed as well.
Money's a scam. I'm telling you, money's a scam, brother. If you look at the people with the biggest hearts, and you look at with the people who with the most generosity, and those people are poor people.
Yeah.
I've seen it in videos. I've seen it in scenarios. There's kids who honestly they're looking in the trash for food, they find half a loaf of bread and they split it between 5, 6 people. The guy literally said it on. I've seen it on a video. The guy goes to the cameraman. You know, the cameraman goes to the kid and says to him, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, these people are hungry too."
Yeah.
Whereas the person with the most amount of money, you know, that person just wants more and more.
You know what, man? We're gonna have to put a stop to it there because we're kind of going into a different conversation altogether. But no, it's been wicked just going back, Danny, and I'm sure this is like the first of many, you know, on Zoom, on Club, you know, a different setup, different scenario, but we're still here, man. So, Danny, as always, I hope you haven't forgot this. What's the #1 rule of Fight Club?
The #1 rule of Fight Club: we do talk about Fight Club.
That's right, man. Peace out, Danny.